And now I would like to introduce Swimming Victoria General Manager Claire Burton.
Good morning everyone and welcome to the 2026 UNCLOUD Victorian Country Short Course Championships here in Traralgon. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands we are meeting today and pay my respect to elders past and present. I'd like to acknowledge life members and board members of Gippsland Swimming Incorporated and Swimming Victoria and offer a big thank you to the local organising committee who have put in tireless hours to ensure these country short course champs are a massive success. Thank you to the Latrobe City Council, Mayor Sharon Gibson and the team at GRAC. This venue is always so supportive of SV and GSI and we're very grateful for their hospitality. Thank you to our sponsors, UNCLOUD, Funky Trunks, Funkita, SRV and Mattioli. This weekend there are over 500 athletes and their coaches from 40 clubs, their families and club volunteers and over 25 technical officials have travelled from all over regional Victoria. Thank you for supporting country swimming. You are our sport and it's why we're here. Have a great meet. Enjoy being part of this wonderful swimming community. Thank you. I'd now like to pass over and introduce to the President of Gippsland Swimming, Jacqueline Madden.
Thank you very much, Claire, and thank you for your kind words. We would like to acknowledge the Latrobe City Council. The Latrobe City Mayor was unable to be with us today at very short notice, but we would like to say a huge thank you to Latrobe City for their major support of this event and a number of Gippsland swimming events. So please, thank you. On behalf of Gippsland Swimming, the home club, Traralgon, and our Gippsland clubs, we warmly welcome you back to our district and region to host the 2026 Swimming Victoria Country Short Course Championships. We acknowledge Swimming Victoria for their confidence in us to host this event and for the support provided throughout the planning and delivery process. Thank you again to Latrobe City for continuing to support our sport, our major events and this event. We are incredibly grateful to you. We also extend our thanks to our event sponsors and supporters. Without your ongoing support, we would not be able to host these major events. To our amazing organising committee, which was only very small, our home club Traralgon and supporters from our Gippsland clubs, your commitment, time and support have allowed us to deliver the best event possible, and it's going to be. Thank you to the technical officials rostered for the event. We greatly appreciate both your expertise and your time. Finally, to all attending swimmers, clubs and coaches, welcome to our fantastic facility here at GRAC. We wish you the best of luck and hope you have a wonderful weekend here in Gippsland. We now move on. And I'd like to call forward Ava Dennis from Warrigal and Molly Detbarn from Sale to take the swimmer's oath.
In the name of all competitors, we promise that we will take part in these championships respecting and abiding by the rules which govern them, in the true spirit of sportsmanship, for the glory of sport and the honour of all seats.
Thank you, ladies. That was wonderful. I would now like to call forward Gary Cole from East Gippsland Water Dragons. Gary is the head coach of East Gippsland and a valuable input with Gippsland Swimming. Thank you, Gary.
In the name of all coaches, we promise that we will take part in these championships, respecting and abiding by the rules which govern them, in the true spirit of sportsmanship, for the glory of sport and the honour of our clubs.
Thank you, Gary. I would now like to call forward Gippsland Technical Official Jane Mitchell. Jane is a recent recipient of the Swimming Victoria Meritorious Service Award, and we felt it was very worthy for Jane to actually take the oath on behalf of our technical officials. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jackie. In the name of all officials, I promise that we will officiate in these championships with complete impartiality, respecting and abiding by the rules which govern them in the true spirit of sportsmanship.
Thank you, everyone. And we've got some support here to now declare the event as
open.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Well, that now concludes our opening ceremony for our Country Short Course Championships, and we are almost ready to get underway here at the Gippsland Regional Aquatic Centre. The pool looks gorgeous. There's going to be some fast racing today. I can just feel it, Adam. We are going to kick off with event number 1. We have had a slight reseed in that 4th heat, but no changes early on. So there'll be a few differences in lanes down in heat 4 of our timed finals this morning.
Could we please have timekeeper from Bendigo Hawks to lane 2, please? Timekeeper from Bendigo Hawks to lane 2. We also need a timekeeper from Gisborne Thunder to lane 3. Gisborne Thunder to lane 3, and a timekeeper from Ballarat to lane 8, please. Timekeeper from Ballarat. So we're looking for Bendigo Hawks, Gisborne Thunder and Ballarat, please. We are waiting for some lap counters, please, for lanes 3 and 4. If you have swimmers doing the 400 metre freestyle, you are required to supply a lap counter. We are waiting for lap counters for lanes 3 and 4, please. I'd like to welcome you all to the first session of the 2026 UNCLOUD Victorian Country Short Course Swimming Championships. Your referees for this session are, for the male events, Michelle Gristidi, and for the female events, Julian Cofield. Starters are Steph Andrietta for the male events and Randall Jones for the female events. Your technical director is Sally Whitehouse. The first event on the program today is the women's 400 metre freestyle. This event has 4 heats. We are still waiting on one timekeeper from Bendigo Hawks to lane 2, please. Timekeeper from Bendigo Hawks to lane 2.
We're into the first heat of the women's 400-metre freestyle.
So as we did mention before, today's events are all timed finals, which means the fastest three or the quickest three swims from any of our heats will be our medalists. In our open events, such as this one, the women's 400-metre freestyle, we do separate those medalists into two age groups. So we have our 14 and unders, so the top three will get a medal, and then the 15 and overs. Out of this first heat, most of our entrants are sitting around that 5:07 mark, so we will be trying to keep a little bit of an eye on their times as we go through, because I think having a look at a few of these seed times, a couple of these girls could do some really nice personal bests, drop some time. They haven't raced this event much this season, so I'm looking forward to seeing what some of these earlier heats can do. So coming through at the halfway point, we have our swimmer out of lane 2, Molly Detbarn, who just completed the athlete's oath in the opening ceremony. She'll take us through in a 2:23.10. So that's well under about the halfway point for her qualifying time coming into this. Certainly on track to go close to around that 5-minute barrier if she keeps up this pace, which would be a great, about 10-second PB if she can go around that 5 minutes.
Just hit that wall in 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Not far behind. It's 3 minutes and 3 seconds.
Yeah, so out in lane 6, Abby O'Meara from Geelong. Those girls started, they went through that first 100 really close together, and there was a little bit of a push through from Molly. And now we're just seeing Abby start to try to close the gap. So a lot of what we want to see from these 400s is the girls building into their swim. You don't want anyone to go out too fast and sort of fall off the pace. You want to hold some easy speed early on and then really build on that.
Yeah, Molly's touched the wall in 3 minutes 36. Followed by Abby with 3 minutes and 41. So she's actually got a pretty good lead at the moment.
Yeah, she's sitting really nicely out in front, holding on to those underwaters, which is great. Some tight streamlines, some good compliments to coach there. So the girls will come down to turn, and as they have 50 metres left to swim, you'll see those bells being rung by our officials. The relatively new addition, the bell, into our 400-metre events. As Molly makes that turn for home, she has led this race start to finish. Abby holding on really well. She'll come in second as we come down under the flags with our leader.
Yeah, and Molly touches the wall in 4 minutes and 49. Great swim there. And Abby coming in second, 4 minutes 55.56.
And then our third place athlete within this heat will be Jada Anisi from Ballarat GCO.
And that's 5 minutes and 6 seconds, 0.55. Heat 2 of 4 underway. Very even start.
Yeah, as the girls come down into this first turn, our leader coming out of lane 4 will be Taylor Costello. She's a 5:00 entry time, so she'll be looking to break under it. We did see Molly from the previous heat go a 4:49, so that was a really even split from her. She was out in a 2:23, back in a 2:25, high 2:26. So good to see that consistency, and we'll be trying to keep an eye out for that as we come through into these faster heats as well. A lot of our better 400-metre swimmers will actually almost negative split these events. So their first half and their second half, the second half will almost be faster.
Violet in lane 2's sort of caught up there.
Yeah, it's our outside lanes.
Sorry, yeah, it's actually Scarlett has hit the wall at 109.41. Followed by Violet.
Similar going out speeds for the girls here to what we saw in Heat 1, around that 110 mark. And it will be our girls from Geelong who are our top 3 leaders early on in the race. We did have Scarlett hit the wall just in front of Violet at the 100-metre turn. But over on the far side of the pool in lane 7, Olivia Clark, she's really starting to work her way through this field as well.
Yeah, still Scarlett in lane 1 from Geelong. Has touched the wall, 145.95. Followed by Olivia in lane 7.
So the girls are now approaching that halfway point. So this is where we get a good glimpse of what's to come. See how they're trekking. Once again, pretty similar to Heat 1. So it's a 2:22 for Scarlett. Down in lane 1, so doing a great job from one of those outside lanes. This third 100, just starting to see a little bit of a move from lane 4, Taylor. And our 3 leaders trying to create that gap between themselves and the rest of the girls. The third 100 is kind of where we tend to see this happen. This is that make or break part, almost like if in a football match, that premiership quarter, the third quarter.
Is this where you've sort of saved your energy up? Start turning up the gears and you start increasing your pace?
100%. That's really what we want to see from these girls. When they hit that 200-metre point, that's kind of where the race almost begins in a lot of ways. You want to be able to have that next gear to be able to shift. And I think the girls here have done a really good job of that, and our 3 leaders. Scarlett is still holding on to that lead and looks to have pulled away even a little bit further from Olivia Clark. But it's a really, probably the best 100 split here is going to go to Taylor, who's made up a lot of ground.
Scarlett is on her final up and back at the moment.
Yeah, final 50 metres. So the bell just means the next time you hit that wall, you are completing the race.
Seems to be all Scarlett right now. And she finishes in 450.85. Followed by Taylor. He's got it in 453.3 out. Lane 7, Olivia Clark from Geelong. She touches on at 456.07. Got some of the fastest qualifying 14 and unders in this heat, heat 3 of 4.
Yeah, so we start getting towards our top-seeded swimmers. We only have one 14 and under girl in that final heat, so we'll be keeping an eye on what times the girls in this one can set. You've got Millicent in lane 4 from Traralgon. A bit of a pedigree within that family, the said family, for these more longer distance races. As well as we've got Claire Baker down in lane 1, as well as Ava Hager in 2, both 13 and 14 years of age. So certainly want to keep an eye on the times from those girls. In our 2 previous heats, our fastest speed so far, our fastest swim for the day from this 400 has still come from that first heat. So 4:49, set by Molly Detbarn, 17 years of age from Sale. She's sitting currently in that first spot. And then it will be Scarlett Gilmore, just 15 years of age, so the lower end of that 15 and under group. She went 450, so she's just behind. And we're starting to see our qualifiers into this race under that 450 mark. So I'm keen to see what a few of these girls can do here.
First and second there, looking pretty even.
Yeah, it's quite interesting on the swim component. These girls are sitting really, really close together, and that's Katie Macklin and Zoe Davis. You do just notice a little bit of difference on those turns and underwater. So coming into the wall, Katie has a much faster turn. She's flicking those feet over onto the wall really quickly. And then Zoe a little bit slower onto the wall, but probably better or more efficient, I should say, on that streamline underwater. We come up to the halfway point. Those 2 girls will be our leaders, and they'll be followed through by Millicent in lane 4.
Yeah, Zoe Davis in lane 5, halfway mark, 218.64. Followed by Katie, 218.29.
Yeah, so still pretty close between those 2 girls. We'll start to see a few more of those more aerobic-based athletes push through now. This is the point we've talked about before, the third 100. You want to start to bring in the intensity of the legs a little extra if you can. If you've got that motor, this is the time to start using it. And as you can see, lane 4, Miller, she's closing that gap pretty quickly now. Really impressed by Zoe's swim here. The middle 2 100s, She's powered off each of those walls, so really tight streamline, a few dolphin kicks, and then the breakout is just really strong and really getting her that advantage.
Zoe Davis, 3:31.98. A good 3-4 seconds trying to lane 4, 3:35.05.
So Miller now moved into second behind Zoe. Also making a little bit of ground up is going to be Rebecca Barclay, I believe it is. Over in lane 6. She's starting to push through as well. And we're about to hear those beautiful bells to signify 50 metres remaining.
They turn for the final 50. It's still 3 seconds in it. Zoe Davis really powering along now. She touches the wall. 4:42.03. Followed by lane 4, Miller said. She gets in 4:46.88. Followed by Rebecca Barclay. She touches on at 4:48.91. This is the fourth heat, 4 out of 4 for the women's 400 metre freestyle.
So fourth heat of 4 in the 4. Away we go. Now we're looking to see some quick times from the centre of the pool. Fastest qualifier into this event is Arabella Johnson from Geelong. Comes in with a 4:30.91. We've seen our fastest swims come out of that third heat, so they are sitting at the top of the podium, and this is where we watch eagerly to await what times the girls can do here. Our quickest time for our 15 and over sits at that 4:42, set by Zoe Davis in the previous heat, and our quickest 14 and under, I believe so far, is Miller said at a 4:46. Now we just have one girl left to swim in the 14 and under age group. That's Miley Bird out of lane 2, 13 years of age from Bendigo East. And then the race for the 15 and overs is well and truly going to be on the cards here, because there's only 3 athletes who have swum faster than the time set by Zoe.
Yeah, it's Arabella Johnson in the lead for the first 100. She's powering along. Got almost 5 seconds on the other girls there between lanes 3 and 6. Lanes 3 and 6 pretty close though, the minute 41.
Yes, definitely close swimming between lanes 3 and 6 here, but I love the way Arabella races these 400s. She really attacks it just from the get-go. We do know she has about a 5-second buffer in this one between herself and the next fastest qualifier, so we do expect to see her go out quickly. Really, we just want to see what she can do, and that's the same for all of these girls. Out of your first swim at these championships, you want to set yourself up for a good day or a good weekend, and if you can tick off a personal best in event one, that's the best way to start a competition.
Absolutely. That'll definitely pump you up for the rest of the event, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. As well as if you can score one of those medals, everyone wants to go home with a little bit of bling. So coming through now, Arabella with a definitive lead over Maya Roberts.
It's a good 9 seconds between them at the moment.
Who is just in front of Taryn Aldred out in lane 6 from Geelong. And then we have another close little race within the race here between lanes 1 and 2 of Ali Morgan and Marley Bird. They're stroke for stroke. But this is looking like it's going to be a nice, fast time for Arabella. As she comes down, they get ready to ring the bell. Just 50 metres remaining. She's almost got a 15-metre lead on the field.
Yeah, she touches the wall at 3:49.16. Followed by Mia, lane 3, 4:03.11. Very close to third, 4:03.94. That's coming out of lane 6.
Yeah, so Maya Roberts and Taryn Aldred still pretty close here, but this race...
Look at that, 4:20.76. That's a massive lead, massive win. Going to be close for second and third. Got lane 3, 4:36.93. It's good 16 seconds in front. Another second later, we've got lane 6. And that's Ava. She hits the wall in 4:37.97. Now we've got the first event for the men. This is the 200-metre backstroke, event 2.
So once again, this is another one of our open events, the men's 200-metre backstroke and 4-time finals. We will see those medals separated into our 14 and unders as well as our 15 and overs. And what a dominant performance we just saw in the 400-metre freestyle. I think it might be a little bit closer in our 200-metre backstroke when we get down to that 4th and final heat. Kicking us off in this first one, though, we have just 4 athletes lining up to start, and leading us through from Warrnambool will be Jonah Elliott.
Jonah Elliott's touched the wall first there.
So the halfway point, and Jonah went around in that 107 mark, well under the pace of his entry time of 2:28. Once again, the third quarter of any of our races that we put together, this is the one the coaches will tell the athletes to put a big focus on, and we have had a shift or a change in leader.
Yeah. Dengju Han in front at the moment, 144. Got about a body length lead at the moment.
Yeah, really pushed through on that third 50. You can just see him up that stroke rate, so the speed of his arms really picked up. He also brought in the legs. He comes in to the finish line. It looks like he's going to do a nice personal best here.
And he will touch the wall in 2 minutes, 22.33, followed by Jonah out of lane 4 in 2:25.17, and Zachary out of lane 6, 2:27.95.
Into the water now. We have our second heat of timed finals, men's 200-meter backstroke. We saw about 6 or 7 second personal best come out of heat 1. Let's see what the boys in this second heat can do.
Yeah, we've got a full pool with this one. All lanes are full. Looking pretty even there. We'll see who touches first. Jack out of lane 2, 32 seconds 21. And Joseph out of lane 4, 32.75.
So another quick start from the outside lanes here. Quick change in leader down that 25. Across to the other side of the pool, Chase Briggs goes through now just ahead of Jack McKinty. And then Joseph McKinney in lane 4. Looks to be sitting in third as they come into the halfway mark.
The halfway mark, they have touched the wall. Joseph still in the lead, but not by much. 109.35. And the second is Chase Briggs.
Yeah, so all went into the wall in almost a straight line, and the touch onto the wall from the feet, a lot of these boys just speeding up feet into the wall, which was really good to see. But this third 50, once again, make or break, some more movement. So 50 metres left to swim. Joseph holding on to your lead. Jack still in second. Third place in this heat, though. You've got 3 caps in a straight line there. But I've really liked the way Joe swam this race. Built from start to finish, increasing that stroke rate down this final 25. He'll be your leader coming under the flags.
Yeah, it is Joseph. Touches the ball, 220.57. Oh, out of lane 2. Jack's comes second, 222.95. And Daniel out of lane 6, 224.07.
Off we go with our third heat of the boys now. Packed field on the far side, and it was a quick start out of lane 7. Zane Poxon from East Gippsland. Looks like he's going to lead the way in that first 25. Lane 4, Jason Denholm, one of our 14-year-olds in this mix, though. He's going to come through at the 50 metre.
Jason, lane 4, 30.45. Followed by Zane out of lane 7.
So still maintaining our early leaders. Lane 1, Jack Stonehouse from Warrnambool. He's also up setting the pace as we come up to the 100-metre turn.
And Jason touches the wall. 105.01. We've had a change for second now, 107.92. That is lane 1. And lane 7 now in third with 108 seconds.
Yeah, the outside lane's just doing really, really well here. All three of the boys from 8, 7 and 1 turning really close together. Just behind Jason, though, youngest in the field, pushing through, and he's about to turn for his final 50.
His lead is increasing a little bit. 141.79, 3 seconds on Jack there, 144.63.
Jackies. I'll leave that to for her just in case.
Jack looks to be really continuing to build in this race. May have made up a little bit of ground through that last 25 on our leader, Jason. And the race for that third place spot, though, really pushing one another out in lane 7 and 8, Zane Poxon and Lachlan Patterson.
Yeah, it is all Jason. He's won it, 218.81, followed by Jack Stonehouse, 221.12, and third is Lachlan in 223.31. We've got the last heat here, the men's 200-metre backstroke. Very, very even start. These guys are powering along early.
Yeah, you can just almost see that difference in speed coming out of this final, of our timed finals this morning. Our two quickest entrants, just about 1 second, separate Zayden Burton and Jack Lanyon. So hopefully we'll see a good race from those two, but it will be our lane 5 swimmer, Jack, who leads the way.
Yeah, he gets in 227.73, followed by Zayden Burton out of lane 4 there.
You know, they do say fortune favours the brave, and it's looking like that's the approach being taken here by Jack Lanyon. Pushing through this first 100, he's been out very explosively, but now starting to catch up pretty quickly and build through this race will be Zayden out of lane 4, yeah, and those two clear leaders here.
Yeah, there is only a second between them.
For the ever-important third 50, it is Darcy Connell in lane 3, who's currently sitting in third place.
Lanes 5 and 4, though, they are very, very close. Only a second, not even a second between them. And Darcy third there, 1:37.40.
So that race out in front, though, well and truly still continues. This is going to be a quick swim from those boys. You can hear the crowd getting very excited as they come down under the flags. 5 meters left to go.
Here's Jack, 2:03.45, 2:03.66 for second, 2:09.47 for third. Very close.
What a swim from the boys.
The
Some
crowd was
excitement.
going off then.
Such excitement. Great job. So into the water now. We have event 3. This is the women's 50-meter breaststroke for our multi-class athletes. So first event on the program for our multi-class swimmers. 2 timed finals in this one. Now, if you are newer to multi-class racing, we do have athletes of all different classifications within the pool. We do compare their final times to the world record times for their classification. And then we calculate their point score based on how close they get, and highest point score wins. Highest point score wins. As we come down the second 25 here, really close between our middle lanes. It will be lane 5, Cerise Nicholson, though he'll get her hands on the wall first in a 46.00, a big drop in time from her entry, 3.5 second PB. Lane 4 comes in second there. Zoe Cox from South Gippsland Bash. She's also gone under her entry time. As we look to see our final athlete in the pool come down to touch. That's Gemma Cook from South Gibby Bass. And she'll finish 9 seconds under her entry time. So some big drops from the girls out of time final 1. So the girls almost ready to get started now for our second time final of the women's 50-metre breaststroke for our multi-class athletes. We saw some incredible swims out of the first heat. Lots of big drops from entry time, which is always a great sign from our swimmers. Let's see if we can get a few more personal bests on the board. A couple of these girls have had massive last few weeks. I know 3 of the athletes in the pool here for sure were racing at our School Sport Australia Games just over a week ago, held at MSAC, and doing a fantastic job there representing their schools and their state. So away they go out of heat 2. Really nice underwater there out of lane 4 from Meg Canetti, just utilising that split stroke. Getting up and racing pretty fast out of lane 6 though was Sarah Howe from Ballarat Gold. Those two will turn pretty much simultaneously on the wall together alongside Brianna Binns. Doing well down in lane 3, Adele York, and also pushing pretty hard out over in lane 8 is Amy Bale, just 12 years of age from Warrnambool. So we'll touch the wall with Meg hitting in first, just outside her personal best. Great swim nonetheless. Touching in second was lane 5, Brianna Binns. And that will wrap up our women's multi-class breaststroke 50 metres. And we'll wait eagerly for those point scores to find out who our medal winners will be. So it was quick times out of the women's 50-metre breaststroke for our multi-class athletes. We have now 2 time finals for our men's 50-metre breaststroke multi-class. And so great to see us having 2 heats in all of our events almost for our multi-class swimmers. They have a pretty stacked program across the weekend. Leading us around at the turn will be lane 5, Dane Hornsby, just 14 years of age. He was out quickly through that first 25. Also doing a great job is Luke Wilson in lane 3, one of our South Gippsland Bass swimmers. And it's the young stars who will touch the wall first and second. 46.31 for Dane, 46.65 for Luke. So 2 3-second drops. A brilliant effort from the 14-year-olds. As we see our final athletes make their way towards the wall. We've got Byron Doran in lane 1. He's pretty close at this point of the race to Kobe Wilson with maybe just a slight advantage. Both of those boys, SB 18, so the same classification. It's a race to the wall. And that will go to Byron, touching there in a 1:29.08, with Kobe finishing in a 3-second personal best time of 1:34.94. So this is our second timed final in the men's 50-metre breaststroke multi-class. Some early pace there through from Lockie Ballion in lane 4. Going well down in lane 2. James Logan, he'll touch in second. Really close from those next few athletes coming in onto the wall. That one's a quick heat. A lot of those swimmers going under their entry times. So we are just going to have about a 5-minute delay in our broadcast now. We do have just a small technical issue that we are amending. Shouldn't take longer than 5 minutes, so make sure you stay tuned, or if you need a bathroom break or to go and get yourself a quick coffee, we've got plenty more action to come. And next up is an event that I just love watching to kick us off early in this competition. That will be event 5, our girls 11 and under 50-metre butterfly, followed by the boys 11 and under. So the youngest age groups we have across this weekend getting their first swim underway. It's always a fun one, and we always see lots of massive improvements.
Funky Trunks and Funkita have been major sponsors of Swimming Victoria for 9 years. Their swimwear and products embody a sport that blends modern innovation with a rich historical legacy. Partnering with quality Australian companies allows Swimming Victoria to provide swimmers with excellent experiences today while ensuring even better opportunities in the future. Make a statement with their bold and colourful designs. Check out their website or visit their pop-up shop over in the far corner. We do have some little fun activities if you have managed to make your way down to the Gippsland Regional Aquatic Centre. A huge shout out to our team from Ballarat GCO. They've got a little memo for anyone who's got kids floating around and wants an activity. The Ballarat GCO club captain Holly was unfortunately unable to make her trip to Traralgon this year, but they've brought her with them in spirit, and in a true Holly fashion, they're going to share that spirit with everyone here at the pool. They're playing a little game called Where's Holly. If you find a mini Where's Holly hidden around the pool hall area, bring it to the team from Ballarat GCO in the stands and you can receive a prize. Also, if you see any of the Ballarat GCO swimmers walking around with their Where's Holly sign, grab a photo with them for their club Instagram and Facebook page. Have some fun. That's what Countries is all about. We do love this event. So we do have our next race beginning, and you will notice just the one athlete here on screen swimming out of lane 1. That will be our swimmer from the first heat of the time finals men's 50-metre breaststroke, David Bale. One of our more experienced athletes, and I'm sure David won't mind me mentioning that. Representing Wodonga City, he is just completing his 50-metre breaststroke for a time now. So plenty of supporters along the edge of the pool for David as he comes down towards that finish line. It's been a really strong swim from him. Came in with an entry time of 47.64. He's going to be well under that, 45.20. Always improving, and we love to see it. Congrats, David. So we've had the whistles from the officials and we are ready to get back underway now after fixing that slight adjustment to the lane rope. We are now back underway with our 2026 UNCLOUD Victorian Country Short Course Championships.
We're into event 5 now. This is the girls 11 and under 50-metre butterfly.
I did mention before, these 11 and under events, they're always so exciting. You have been able to see around the edges of the pool such an increase in the crowd and the amount of people ready to support these youngsters going through that first 25 will be Jasmine Cox out of lane 6. She's doing such a great job here.
And it is Jasmine Cox. She touches the wall first at 39.68. Followed by Isabella. She touches on it 39.99. Very close. Lane 5, Indy, the third.
So into the water now with our second of 4 time finals. A lot closer through this first 25 out of the second heat here. Looks to be lane 4, Harriet Canetti of Warrnambool, just in front. She had a nice underwater, as did lane 2, Summer Netzer from Warragul. The girls now about 10 metres left to swim. Those two have a nice little buffer ahead of lanes 1 and 5. So we come down to touch though. It will be Harriet, 39.33, a little quicker than heat 1. Lane 1 stuck in for second place there, 40.31 for Brooklyn Bradsworth of Wodonga. And then it was Summer who touched in third. One of our 10-year-olds in the 11 and unders.
In the third heat. Very even start here. Does appear to be lanes 2 and 4 that are first and second. Was Ruby out of lane 5. She touches on 38.13. Second to Ivy, she touches 38.85. And Alexis out of lane 7, 39.31.
Underway now with our fastest qualifiers in our 4th heat of the girls. Blistering start from lane 4, Georgie Kennett, Ballarat Gold. She's got a body length now ahead of second place, Nellie Gray in lane 5. Doing well early, lane 7, Summer Davis from Warrnambool. but 30.72. It's a great swim from Georgie. She'll take that one out ahead of Nelly. And then in third place will be Primrose Baker.
Event number 6 underway now. This is the boys 11 and under 50 metre butterfly. We've got 4 athletes in this race. It's looking pretty even. It is Milo. Out of lane 4 there, 40.77. Lewis comes second, 43.86. And Joshua third, 44.39.
So once again, we have 4 heats in our 11 and unders. This is the second one. It is the centre lanes who are going to take us through the first 25. Looks like lane 5 ever so slightly. Oliver Beavis ahead of Nelson Cook. Good underwater from both of the boys. Sitting in third, a little bit of action from the outside lanes. Doing really well, looks like lanes 7 and 8. But it is the centre lanes coming through. Lane 5 will get the touch there. Oliver, 41.10. Ahead of lane 1, who sneaks in second, 42.69. That was Samuel Phillips. To wrap up the second heat.
Heat 3 of 4 underway. Henry out of lane 4. Looks like he got the first 25 there. But it is very even. We will find out now. Yes, it is Henry from Wodonga out of lane 4. He touches on at 37.28, followed by Joshua in 37.43. Very close for third there as well. 34.97. Very, very close race.
More action now as our fastest heat of our 11 and unders takes to the pool. We saw a dominant swim from the girls, 30 seconds. Let's see if the boys can go close to that. Taking us around the first 25, Sonny Gorham from Wodonga City, just ahead of Oliver Young from Geelong. 2 centre lanes, the ones to beat. Third looks to be lane 7, Reihart Nell. And our time from Sonny, 32.97. Some great celebrations from the boys. Very happy with those times. The action continues as we progress along to event 7. This is our girls 12-13-year-olds 100-metre freestyle. We have 6 time finals in this event as the girls swing through that first 25. Fast out of the pool, our leading group. Really close between Camilla, Penelope and Chloe, with Camilla Meneses Lopez out of lane 5. Going to push through that first 50, 32.48. She continues that speed down the third 25. Chloe Harvey-Bredden sitting in second place here, but a great turn from her. She'll lead the way home on the final 25. Starting to push through lane 3, Sophie McKenzie of Benalla. As those 3 come into touch. It will be Chloe, 108.58. Ahead of Camilla, 109.59. And Sophie touching in third.
Underway. The heat 2 of 6. Girls 11 and 12, 100-metre freestyle.
So lane 6 takes us through the first 25. Josie Richer of South Gippsland Bass. Beautiful underwater though from lane 3. Jongqing Ko from Ballarat Gold. This first 50 of the 100 really setting the girls up. We want that early speed. It'll be Jungqing who goes through.
331.68. Followed by Abel.
So they turn for the final 25. Leader remains the same. Abel McPherson from Warragul holding on to second place spot. Lane 4 starting to push. Isabel Lee. She's trying to close that gap, but lane 8 also doing well as Jungqing touches 105.71, Abel in second, 106.89. And then Isabel does get that third place spot. The halfway point through the 12-13 years 100 free. Heat 3. We've seen some nice drops from entry times once again. Athletes just continuing to improve on their personal bests. Lane 5 and 6, Darby Hunter and Matilda Canetti. They'll take us round at the 50-metre turn, 31.72, 31.93. Lane 7 onto the wall in third place spot, 32.67 for Claire McQuillan of Traralgon. We're looking to see who can finish this final 25 off. Those two girls out the front, though, just stroke for stroke through this whole 100. Matilda with the slight advantage coming under the flags, dug a little deeper on that final 50. She'll touch in a 106.53, 106.90 for Darby. And then it was Ava Lucas finishing third out of the third heat. Away and racing now into our fourth heat, and once again outside lanes taking it out. Lanes 8 and 7 turn first and second at the 25 there. Jordan Camfield and Emma Lieberts. Lane 4 starting to make a bit of a move, as well as lane 5. So the girls in the middle, Lucy Beavis and Isabella Scullion, pushing through the field through that second 25. This is where you want to see that action. You want to see the big 6-beat leg kick come in. Some beautiful white water out behind, and doing the best job of that at this point in the race is Isabella. It's a race of 3 at the front here between Frankie Gleeson of Gisborne, who's done a great second 50. Lucy Beavis of the Wangaratta Stingrays is just going to get her hand on to touch, though, ahead. 106.48, 106.67. And then it was Isabella who finished in third.
Thank you.
Heat 5 underway. Very, very even start.
Yeah, first 15 metres, just very similar on those underwaters, but turning through in first will be lane 4, Talia McCubbin. She's one of our 12-year-olds swimming in this 12-13-year age group. And she'll lead us around that 50-metre turn.
And she hits the wall in a 30.39. Very close for second, 30.91. And third out of lane 6, 31.21.
Yeah, so Millie Leia in lane 3, just starting to try to close the gap. Talia, though, was so quick through that first 50. And lane 6, Violet Smith, another Geelong swimmer, really working through the second half of this race as well.
Yeah, that's a 103.65. Followed by lane 6, Violet in 106.18. And Lila out of lane 4 there, 103.65. The sixth and final event for the girls 12 and 13 100-metre freestyle. Another very even start.
So through that first 25, out of lane 4, Raina Snyders. Really powerful on the underwater. She's got a nice advantage coming into the 50-metre turn.
Yeah, lane 4 and 6, 28.68 and 30.24.
This is a great swim by Raina. She's just pulling further away from the group here. Matilda DeFazio in lane 6, sitting in second place from Benalla. And then the race for third, though, this is super close. Zara Gilmore out in lane 8. Lane 5, Claire Baker. And then Miley Bird in lane 3, but all Raina Snyders.
Yeah, she touches on under the minute, 59.46. Lane 6, Matilda, 102.22, and pretty close to third there. Here we go. We've got event 8 here, the boys 12 and 13-year-old 100-metre freestyle.
So once again, 6-time finals for this one. All of the boys out of this first heat sit around that 109 with just a couple of 110s. And this is a straight line across the pool through the first 25.
Yeah, it is. Very even there. But it is Ruben, lane 4. He touches first, 32.48. Very, very close for second. It's Henry out of lane 1.
Yeah, there was only 7 100s that separated second and third on that turn. We're just seeing those golden lanes in the middle try to pull away from the group here through the third 25. A little bit better on the underwaters, potentially out of lane 4 for Ruben Grief of Ballarat.
Yeah.
He just gets that advantage, and then there's a lot of work by Neil Van Aswegen in lane 5 to try and catch up.
And it is lane 4 and 5. He's very close there. 107.96 for first, 108.22 for second, 109.65 for third.
Off we go with our second heat. And really nice underwater coming out of lane 8 here. Patterson Norman from Lara, explosive off the blocks, leads us throughout the 25. Next bit of action in this heat is Oliver Verco from Terrelgan, who's done the work through the second 25. Yeah, those first 3 swimmers, they've kind of already broken away from the pack. A little bit of work being done by Harry Knight from Geelong, trying to catch up, but all 3 of those top athletes turned in that 31-second mark.
Heat 3 underway. Very even start. Looks like lane 6 there. But the first 25ers touched first. That's
It was Jack Lomax through the first 25, but doing the work through the second, down in lane 1. You almost couldn't see him on the screen, but Edward Valentin just really pushed through that second half, and he's really holding that distance. It's a race of 3 across between 1, 8 and 6 as they turn for home.
lanes 1 and 3. This is Jack out of lane 6, 105.92. Edward second, 106.27. And Flynn Cox in third, 106.56. 4 or 6 in the water now.
Best of the start certainly goes to Zayden Vine out of lane 5 from Sale. Taking a half body length lead at the 25-metre turn. Second and third, pretty close between lanes 2 and 3 there. Hayden Rawson and Henry Arnup, with Phoenix Aldersley over in lane 6 also up in that pack.
And Zayden touches the wall, 28.47. It was very powerful off that back wall over there.
Yeah, he certainly was. He's really used the skills to his advantage. We are swimming short course racing, so all of those little extra bits you can get of an advantage off your walls and off your dives make a big gap in this competition as we come down under the flags.
Zayden's absolutely powering along. He touches and finishes at 1 minute, 0.13. Second is Henry, 102.81. Third to Hayden, 104.03. Heat 5 or 6 underway. Boys 12 and 13. 100-metre freestyle.
Really fast time we just saw coming out of the fourth heat, 1:00, almost breaking that minute barrier, which would have situated him in the sixth and final heat. So we're going to need to see some fast swims for these boys if they want to be in medal contention. It will be Hai Kang in lane 4 who takes us around in a 28.93. He's got that beautiful 6-beat kick out behind him, really working. Lane 6 as well here. Patrick Clark pushing through. These boys are going to be close to that minute barrier as well.
So hiking out of lane 4, 1 minute, 0.70, not far behind. Patrick out of lane 6, 1 minute, 1.61. And Angus out of lane 7, 102.90.
Underway here with our sixth and final heat of the boys 12-13-year-olds. What a start it has been. Lane 4 just shot off the blocks there. Billy Main from Wodonga City. The row of athletes sitting in second, though, extends from lanes 5, 6, and 7. Nothing separating that group as they come down to the 50-metre turn. Billy just gaining that ground off each of his turns here. That little pack still close together. Nice swim from Daniel Hyatt holding on to second, but Darby Blackwell just starting to push up alongside, as is Zachary Gray. It's going to be close for the minor medals. In the water now, we have event number 9. This is the girls 14, 15 years, 100-metre butterfly. We have 7 time finals in this one.
Here's Nara Zhang hitting the first 50 there.
So the girls now coming down the final 25. Lane 8 led for so long in this one, but lane 4, Addison Jane from Geelong. So lane 5, I should say, Stella Snipson from Ballarat Gold. She's finished this beautifully. She'll take the win there.
In 1 minute, 16.77. Here's Kaylee out of lane 2, 1 minute 18.52. And a couple of seconds later, we've got Addison in 120.25. Lanes 4 and 6 there, looking pretty even. But it will be lane 6 touching the wall first. That's Brooklyn. She does it in 32.82. Followed by Miranda at a lane 4. That's 33.04.
Yeah, so the lead to have quite a substantial distance between the rest of this heat. They're almost stroke for stroke coming into the final turn. I will just mention it's fantastic to have 7 heats out of our girls 14, 15 years 100-metre butterfly. Not the easiest event to swim fly, so good to see so many of our athletes tackling this one as the girls come down under the flags. It will be lane 4 hitting the wall in first.
Does it in 1 minute, 12 seconds, 0.80. Brooklyn second, minute 14.22. Matilda third, 1 minute 17.98.
into the water now. We have our third heat of girls, all with entry times around that 1:16, 1:17 mark. So seeing a 1:12 out of the previous heat was a beautiful personal best and a nice drop, and we hope to see a few more of those as we go through these middle heats.
Yeah, heat 7, they're down to the 108s. Looks like lane 3 here might get it. No, it is lane 8. Keziah Wolf, 33.04. Second, it will be lane 3. Evie from Bendigo East.
Yeah, we've seen a few of these outside lanes put together some fantastic swims. When you have entry times so close together, the action can really come from any part of this pool, rather than when we get to our faster swims and you see those centre lanes, the quicker seeds, they tend to be the ones with a nice gap out in front. But this is a fantastic swim from Keziah Wolf over in lane 8.
Yeah. She's ahead by a fair bit here. Touches at 1 minute 11.58, followed by Annabelle out of lane 4, 1 minute 13.58. Then a second behind, we've got Evie with 1 minute 14.59.
This is our 4th timed final of 7 underway. See if we can have some more good swims from these outside lanes. Once again, there's some big personal bests out of that heat, including a couple of 3 or 4 second drops.
Lane 8's looking pretty good again, Carlia. Yeah, we'll be lane 8. We've got Emily from Benalla, 33.56. Followed by Jade from Kangaroo Flat, 33.61.
Yeah, there's a bit of pace out in lane 8 today. A lot of action coming from over there. Good to see them holding on through the second half. Starting to make a bit of a move, though, is Jade Hayward in lane 6. But it's the underwaters once again.
I wonder if it's got anything to do with lane 8 being as close to the crowd over there. They're making a lot of noise.
They certainly are. They're definitely getting around and supporting their swimmers. As we come down to touch, it will be lane 8 that does get there. Emily Staggard.
She does it in a minute 13.02. Followed by lane 3, that's Lacey McRae. Does it in 1 minute 13.68. And third, Jade from Kangaroo Flat. Heat 5 of 7 here.
So we've seen quite a lot of 113s coming through our previous heats, and nearly all our entrants within the 5th heat come in with that 113. So we want to start pushing these times down, see who we can get close to that 110 barrier. Always a nice goal to try and drop under those milestone marks.
Here's Emily touching there in the first 31.59.
So our leaders definitely have set themselves up with a little bit of space to potentially go around that 110 mark. Coming through in a 31. The goal in butterfly is just to try and get as close to that going out speed in the second 50. We do know these form strokes, they're a lot harder to maintain that speed.
So Emily here. She gets it in 1 minute 8.21. Nice body length. behind Zoe there. She touches minute 10.79. And Abby O'Mara from Geelong, third place, minute 11.32.
A nice long underwater there, really utilising almost that whole first 15 out of lane 5. Nia Chapman, South Gippsland Bass. But not a lot separating our leaders. 4 athletes, almost 5 across the pool here as we come down to the halfway point.
And who's it going to be? Astrid out of lane 2 from Ballarat, 31.49. Followed by Pippa, 31.76.
Yeah, Astrid held that underwater off the 50-metre turn really nicely. Great to see those skills going through this whole race. A bit sharper onto the finish there was Pippa Brown in lane 4 from Geelong. Just sped up flags to wall. And those two are going to be pretty close as we come down to finish. Starting to join them is Ruby Kenwright of Warrnambool.
Pippa gets it, 107.97, followed by Astrid, 107.99. And Ruby from Warrnambool does it in 109.16.
So this is it, our 7th heat of 7 in the girls 14-15 years 100-metre butterfly. We've seen a few swimmers in previous heats break under the 110 mark, which would have placed them into this final heat. What can the girls in the middle do? 103.89 is Liwen New's entry time out of lane 4, and she's certainly got the easy speed through this first 50.
Followed by Bryn, does it at 30.56.
So Liwen pulling away now, looking great through the second half of this race. Minor placings closing in on one another. Good turn there out of lane 3 from Arabella Johnson. She's chasing Chloe Skarwick, down the final lap, but it will be Liwen.
She does it with about half a body length, 106.24, followed by Layla. Out of lane 6, that's 107.42. And Arabella in third, 107.66.
Moving along now to event 10. This is the boys 14-15 years 100-metre butterfly, and we have 4 timed finals out of this one. Just a few athletes swimming through this first heat. Taking us around at the 25-metre turn will be Jasper Warner from Moe.
Jasper touching 31.25. Better second behind Elijah, 32.11. Only 4 lanes taken in this race.
Good underwater there from Elijah Verco. in lane 3. Really closed the gap, but Jasper just pushing through down the final lap to hold on to that first place spot.
Yeah, Jasper does it, 109.14, followed by Elijah, 110.11, and Jaden out of lane 6, 114.48. Heat 2 of 4 underway. They've all touched the wall in their first 25 metres pretty evenly. But it does look like that in lane. Again, he's over in lane 2. Is Lyndon 30.80 the first 50.
Yeah, once again, far side of the pool, proving to have the goods here. For Lyndon Chaplin of Terralgan, he's led from the first 25, but the other boys, they're finishing very well here. Lanes 5 and 3, that is Cooper Westwood and Daniel Wilkie. Probably going to have the faster last 25s. They've really built on this race.
Cooper Westwood taking first spot there, 106.76. Daniel out of lane 5 gets second, 107.23. And Cooper Sampson, third spot out of lane 1, 108.17. Heat 3 underway. Boys 14 and 15, 100-metre butterfly.
So it's a comfortable lead early on for lane 4, Isaac Holloway. He's ahead of lane 6, Bryce Scott. On the turn, 29.48, followed by 30.19. And it's Asher Martin in lane 3 who'll touch in third place. As 4 and 6 begin their final 25 together.
And it does look like it's very, very close between first and second here. But it is Isaac Holloway. He gets it, 104.84, followed by lane 6. That's Bryce. He get 105.08. And Harry in third, 105.85. Final heat underway for the boys, 14 and 1500-metre butterfly. We get down, a lot of these swimmers are around that 103, 104 mark.
Yeah, on entry time, really close for those minor placings. Cooper Scott out of lane 4 comes in with an entry of 100 though. He'll be looking to try and break under that 59 barrier. He's certainly being pushed along early on in this race by Xavier Gray out of lane 5. Those two, your clear leaders at the halfway point.
Yeah, Xavier, 26.63. Not far behind, it was like 27 seconds.
Yeah, certainly set themselves up well enough to break under the minute. This is going to be a quick swim from first and second. Lane 1 doing a great job. Jack Hayes of Surf Coast, he's currently sitting in third place spot.
It is Xavier. He touches 57.58. Lane 4 behind him, 58.42. That's Cooper. And lane 1, again in the leaderboard, those far lanes. That's Jack, and he touches a 101.09. Okay, we're into event 11. This is the girls 16 and 1700 metre freestyle.
4-time finals out of this one once again. Heat 1 sitting around that 105 through to 107 mark. A lot of 16-year-olds out of this first heat. So we come up to the 50-metre turn, lane 5, Sophie Ryan. She's gone after a 50-metre time there, I believe. So you'll notice she didn't do a tumble turn. She touched the wall with her hand. And that's because if you touch the wall in a freestyle event or in the first 50, because we have the touch pads, you can use that time in your other races.
It is neck and neck at the moment between Sophie and Sienna. And it does look like Sienna touches first, 103.55, followed by Sophie. She does it 104.42. And third, that'll be Kayla, 104.73. All 8 lanes taken in heat 2.
A full field and a fast field going around the first 25 will be lane 6, Hannah Buchanan. Saw her sister Astrid in that 100 fly before. Great first 50. These girls have such incredible front end speed. She's going to lead us through at the halfway turn.
Yeah, Hannah, 28.66, followed by Memphis, 29.65, and then Molly in third, 30.40.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on these times here. We do have 2 heats to go. This is a pretty quick pace being set by our leaders. Hannah, she's maintained that kick throughout this whole 100. Memphis down in lane 2. She's been really consistent as well.
That's Hannah, lane 6, 1 minute, 0.17. Memphis gets second, 102.25. And Emily out of lane 4 there, 103.94.
In the water now, we have our third heat of the girls 16, 17 years, 100 metre freestyle, and we just saw a 100 out of the second heat. So pretty comparable to our top seeded athletes out of that fourth one. Keep an eye on what the girls can do here. Can they go a little bit quicker through that first 25? It will be Meg McKinney from Warragul who leads us by about half body length at halfway.
Yeah, Meg does a 28.93, followed by Georgie, 29.73. Just saying, in that fourth heat there, they go as low as 57.
Yeah, we've got some pretty quick sprinters, I should say, coming up. We've got a lot of these 100-metre events across the weekend, so plenty of action coming your way. This one's going to be close to that 100 as well.
Yeah, it is 100.32. Lane 6, 102.08. Lane 1, 102.15.
Racing here with our fourth and final heat of girls. Let's see how many we can sneak under that 100. It's proven pretty difficult of a task for the previous 3 heats. So many girls fluctuating around that 100.101 barrier. It is the Golden Lanes in this one that have taken out the first 25 here. Ava Candy and Claire Matheson, with Claire hitting the wall first, 27.62. One of the quickest first 50s we've seen. Ava, 27.80. We know both these girls are going to be able to finish this 100 really nicely. Pretty good 200-metre swimmers as well. Ava Candy, though, great off the wall. That's where the race is. Phoebe Balcom in lane 6. Looks like she's going to hit that 3rd place spot. What times can these girls get? 57.05 for Ava, 57.88 for Claire, and then 58.68. 3 girls under the minute for our medals. Moving along in the program now, we hit event 12. This is the boys 16-17 years 100-metre freestyle. And like the girls, we once again have 4 timed finals in this one. It's the 3 athletes contesting first heat. And a 50-metre split there once again for our swimmer in lane 4. Touched in a 26. So that was quick. Dara Tagal, another one of our athletes who competed across the previous week at School Sport Australia Games. The second 50 though, doing a great job, Ethan Wagner of Geelong. And he'll get under the minute mark, 59.92, 1/100th of a second PB. Doesn't matter how much you do it by. Great effort from the boys out of heat 1. Water with our second heat. First feed on the wall at the 25-metre mark is going to be Logan Pace from Wangaratta. That turn certainly brought this field together though as they hit the 50-metre. Lane 2, 27.04 for Noah Warner from Maui. And this race has just had so many changes in leaders across the last 50 metres. We're now just starting to see Ben Hynam from Geelong Sharks bring his legs in down the back 50.
Ben does it, 56.51, followed by Logan at a lane 7, 58.30, and then Reese in third spot, 58.51.
So 56, our quickest time so far from that second heat. Pretty equal to a lot of the personal bests and entry times from heat 3. As they go through the 25, Jack Stonehouse in action again. Out of lane 3, the swimmer from Warrnambool, 26.1.
26.13.
A nice third 25 there by Zayden Burton out in lane 7. And he's your new leader as the boys come down under the flags. It's pretty close between the first two.
Yep, and it is Zayden. He touches the wall, 54.38. Followed by Jack, 54.90. And Cody, third, 56.03. Heat 4 of 4 underway. Boys 16 and 1700 metre freestyle. It's so even there. Absolute neck and neck. But it does seem to be lane 4 slightly in the lead. That's Jacob. But it is neck and neck. Wow. Jeff Connor gets it out of lane 5. He touches it 25.16.
Yeah, those two centre lanes, what a race we've got. It almost looked like synchronised swimming during that third 25. Jacob just made up a little bit of ground on the turn, but Jeff looks to be just ahead as they come down under the flags.
And it is all Jeff. Very strong race there. He does it in 52.49. Jacob, second, 52.59. And third to Thomas.
So some pretty exciting racing there, very close between our two leaders. And we're going to see some more close racing coming up now as we hit event 13. This is the women's 18 and over 50 metre freestyle. We've got quite a lot of athletes who are returning to the pool here. And a quick swim out of lane 3.
Lane 3 does it. That'll be Celeste Ellis. She gets 28.30. Not far behind second, we've got Georgia. That's 28.90. And third, Alana, and she does it 29.80. Second heat underway. It's a very even race so far. Does look good. Nicolette out of lane 3. She is powering along here.
Yeah, lane 3, the lane to be in for these 50s. We saw Celeste 28 out of the first heat. This one's going to be pretty close to that.
And no one's caught her. And Nicolette does it in 27.69. Followed by Sarah out of lane 4, 28.72. And Abby out of lane 5, 25.90.
Fast final heat of the women's 18 and over 50 metre freestyle splash and dash, and that's certainly what we're seeing in the pool. Looks like it could be lane 6 who's going to hit the wall first on the turn. Anna Mattel from Traralgon, not far ahead of lane 4, Nicole Briscoe of Geelong.
Lane 4 does it, 27.20, followed by lane 3, 27.29, lane 6, 27.33.
A very close finish there, just 0.13 between first and third. And that means that our swimmer from the heat 2 is going to end up around that 4th or 5th place. So great work to Nicolette out of that second heat as well.
Boys 18 and over 50 metre freestyle is underway. As they're in lanes 4 and 5 battling it out. William and Cooper. Who's going to touch first? Whoa. It is Cooper Sutherland. He does it 25.56. Followed by William. He does it in 25.65. And third, lane 6, Jack does it.
So the second heat now underway of the men's 18 and over, 3-time finals, same as our women's. Lane 7 goes through first. Mitchell Norton from Surf Coast, one of our returning athletes. I did recently hear he's now the coach out at Surf Coast and having a bit of a crack himself. He looks like he'll get his hand on the wall. He'll be second just by 1/100th though, and lane 1 touches in first. Nathan Foote, another one of our coaches. It was a whole race of coaches really there. In a 24.99, sneaking in under that 25-second mark.
Third and final heat underway here for the 50 metre freestyle boys 18 and over. They are powering along. And it's looking good. Lanes 4 and 5 again, these shorter races. It is Ashley out of lane 4. She does it in 22.71. Sebastian out of lane 5, 23.50. And Darcy in lane 3, he got third, 23.63.
Moving along now, we have in the water event 15. This is the girls 11 and under 100 metre individual medley.
We have 3 swimmers in this first heat. Pretty evenly placed at the moment.
Yeah, the 100 IM, one of our events that we only get to race in our short course season. It consists of 25 metres of each of the strokes, butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. Now, the three girls coming into this race, it wasn't really surprising that they're very close together. Their entry times are all 1:31, and then one is 0.75, one's 0.76, and one's 0.77. So just 2 100ths differentiated these girls on their entry time.
Thank you.
Do you think they saved most of their energy for this breaststroke leg?
You certainly want to be making sure that you do save a little bit, because breaststroke is so taxing, particularly in an IM, certainly on the legs. It's really a race still between all three of these girls as they hit the final turn, and this is where you want to be able to bring in those legs even more, switch that gear up, switch on the afterburners, and it's a race for home with 10 metres left.
Yeah, very leg dominant. Isabella does it. She touches the wall first. First place, 127.45.
So it was a pretty close swim out of that first heat. We just saw that final 25 was the make or break one there. Quite often it really is that third 25, the breaststroke, where we see a lot of changes occur. So we hit our second heat of girls. We've got a couple who are just under that 130 barrier, so we'll see if we can sneak a few of these outsiders under there as well. We've had some great starts again over in lane 8.
Eliza touches first with her backstroke leg. Into the breaststroke.
So Eliza was the leader prior to the breaststroke, but Summer Davis from Warrnambool, she is your new leader and first to start into the freestyle. A good breaststroke there from lane 5 as well. Clementine Chapman. As we come into touch.
It is Eliza. She does it. Summer Davis does it, sorry, in 124.61, followed by Eliza, 126.64. And Clementine at lane 5, 127.91.
We are now into our third and final heat of the girls 100-metre individual medley for our 11 and unders. We do see Georgie Kennett return to the pool, the winner of the 50-metre butterfly. She did that in a 30.20, so not really a shock to see her out quickly in that first 25.
Georgie, 32.12. Followed by Nelly, 35.08. Her Primrose does third, 36.69, as they get into this breaststroke leg.
Yeah, the Geelong girls really close together in second and third here. But Georgie Kennett, what a strong swim this one's going to be. Clearly leading us through. Down the final lap. A nice distance between herself and the rest of the girls.
But it is Georgie that does it. She does it in 108.70. About 9 seconds behind second there. That'll be Nelly. She does in 1:17.64. And third, Primrose. She does in 1:20.77. Boys 11 and under, 100-metre individual medley underway now.
So just
2 heats.
I was about to say, you took the words right out of my mouth, Adam. Just the 2 heats of the boys, but full heats we have. And we've got some action from lanes 2 and 1 down the butterfly. Benjamin Edgar of Traralgon and Menzel Cook from Warrnambool.
Very evenly placed across the pool at the moment. It is the outside lane that does touch first in this lap. 37.69. We've got Benjamin that. And out in lane 2, it's Menzel, 38.65 third.
Yeah, we're going to start to see a few of these swimmers in the middle really using this breaststroke to their advantage, trying to catch up on Benjamin, who just flew through the backstroke. Looks like it will be Oscar Hall of Bendigo East, though, touching in first after the breaststroke, and the race is on between lanes 4 and 5, Barry Song and Oscar, and starting to join them, Alexander Lee in lane 3.
Does look like Oscar will touch. No, Benjamin touches first from Traralgon. He does it 123.54, followed by Oscar, 123.81, and third, Alexander. He does it in 124.65.
So this is the final heat of the boys 11 and under, 100-metre individual medley. Great race out of that first heat. Great swim out of lane 1 as well. It will be the middle lanes, though, taking us through in the butterfly from our boys in the second heat.
Yeah, pretty evenly placed here with the times.
Yeah, the entry times very close together, particularly for our leaders.
Johnny Gorham Wodonga finishing this leg in 34.69, followed by Henry, 39.93.
This is a really nice breaststroke split from lane 4, Sonny Gorham. Just increasing that lead that he had at the end of the backstroke. It will be his teammate, Henry May, sitting in second, close for third. Out of lane 3, Oliver Young, and lane 6, Reihart Nell.
It is all Sonny, though. He does it in a minute 15.95. Followed by Henry, 119.17. And then Oliver, third place, 119.33.
Event 17 underway. This is the men's 400 metre individual medley. We've got 5 swimmers in this race.
So the 400 IM, we've got 2 timed finals. It is an open event once again, so 14 and under medals, 15 and over medals. The 5 swimmers out of this first heat. Keep an eye on the times. We do have 2 of our 14-year-olds racing in this one, and then 1 more to go in the next timed final. One of them is your current leader in Cooper Scott from Wodonga City, out of lane 5. Sitting in second, it's going to be lane 3, Jack Hayes, also 14 years of age from Surf Coast. And then lane 4, Hugo Pankhurst from Warragul, and about 15-year-olds. .400 IM, a little bit different to what we saw from our 100 IM previously, which is 425s of absolute all-out sprint. This is our longest race that has our other strokes in it, so butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, alongside the freestyle. That's the only event that we go past 400 metres in. And this one, especially short course, really heavy on that turn focus, so most of this race is skills. That last 5 metres building into your turn, timing onto the wall, and then working those underwaters. There's definitely a fine balance between using that efficiency on the underwater, but not overdoing it and going into that oxygen deficit, staying under for too long.
Do you think they would be keeping an eye on their opponents in the water there to see where they are and see how hard they can push?
I think knowing 14 and 15-year-old boys, 100% they would have an exact idea of where everyone else in this pool is. The thing about these short course races is you do have a few more turns, and there is that ability on your underwaters to have a little bit of almost a look. So quite often you'll come off the wall slightly on your side, and that gives you that ability out of your peripheral vision to see where the other swimmers are. And I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys will be having a little bit of a look to make sure they know that they are where they want to be. We do know that nearly all of these swimmers competing across the weekend, they're athletes, they're racers, and at the end of the day, you want to win, you want to do a good time.
A couple of them are teammates as well, so that's going to make it even more competitive, I suppose.
Yeah, we have 2 of the boys in this one from Warragul. I think the great thing about racing your teammates is you know their strengths and weaknesses. So you know that if you're sitting in front of them at a point where they're normally in front of you, that's a great sign that you're going to be on track for a PB. So as we move through the breaststroke, Cooper Scott has extended the lead that he had early after the butterfly. And he'll be the first athlete to go into that final 100 of freestyle. It is still Jack Hayes sitting in second, and then Hugo Pankhurst in 3rd place spot. No changes to our leaders through the middle of that IM, which can be a little bit unusual. Normally we might see a few changes throughout that middle 200. But this race looks to be pretty much set for our place getters. And we'll keep an eye. We will be writing down those times as Cooper Scott turns for his final 50.
Yeah, Cooper's sitting on 4:13 at the moment, 0.36. There's a good 6 seconds second spot, which is Jack, 4:19. There you go. It is Cooper. He touches first, 4:43.52. Second place going to Jack from Surf Coast. He does it 4:50.55. And third spot to Hugo. Does it in 4:58.98. Heat 2 of the men's 400 metre individual medley now underway.
Sorry, you should have come through this way. Just the time. So just missing the one swimmer here out of lane 4, which opens up that opportunity for some other swimmers to maybe sneak a medal. It also separates our field a little bit. So the top half versus the bottom half of these lanes. And it's lane 6 and 5, Zayden Burton and Marley Sutherland, who are going to lead us through the butterfly portion. The key in this one is to make it easy. We want that, still need to be going quickly, obviously, but if you can get through the butterfly without overexerting yourself, there's still 3 100s to go, so you're going to have that little bit left in the tank for the final part of the race. We're also going to try to see a few of these athletes really playing to their strengths. Got a couple of the boys in this field who are going to have pretty quick breaststroke. Zayden Burton using this backstroke to try and gain a little bit of a lead. Separate himself from Marley.
Why would you see less swimmers enter this event, Carly?
Well, for one, this is one of the hardest events on the program, so you have less athletes who will actually even compete in a 400 IM across short course season. That's reason number one. Reason number two is all of our events at our country short course championships have qualifying times, and there's a pretty high standard of time that you have to hit to be even able to race in this one. So I think if you combine all of those things together, it's you've really got to be one of those tougher athletes if you want to compete in this one. It's looking like a really nice swim from Noah Stevens down in lane 2. He's gained a lot of ground through the breaststroke, and you can just see he's that little bit more efficient through the water. He's got a really nice glide. Zayden obviously utilised that backstroke, try and get himself as far in front as possible. But the two boys behind him, they're now working through, trying to catch up. Looking like it might be enough of a lead that he had prior to the breaststroke. We do need to consider when they swap over into the freestyle, they get away quicker. Freestyles are faster strokes, so that gap is going to lengthen while the other boys are still breaststroking. So Zayden Burton hits the wall from lane 5, first to go into the freestyle. Absolutely nothing separating Noah and Marley. They're swimming for second and third here. I think that breaststroke took a fair bit out of Noah, though. You saw he had that higher stroke rate, and that's the toll that you pay for pushing through that third 100, using maybe a little bit too much energy, because Marley has just picked up. He is chasing down Zayden Burton with 50 metres left.
He is. He's really caught up in this last sort of quarter of the race, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's interesting on this 25. Zayden's had the ability to breathe towards him, and I think he might have noticed that he was closing that gap, and he's really kicked into gear. The crowd's getting behind them, but Zayden Burton, he's certainly done enough to take this one.
And he does. He hits the wall in 4 minutes 38.33. Followed by Marley, 4:41.28. And Noah gets third, 4:45.79.
Into the water with event number 18. This is the women's 50-meter butterfly multi-class. Once again, 2-time finals out of this event. We saw some really incredible drops in time from entry times. In the breaststroke 50 we had for our multi-class athletes at the beginning of the morning. Little tough backup having to go into fly as your next event. Great job by Amy Bale. In lane 6, she touches under that 40-second mark, 39.06. Following her onto the wall was Kayla Wilson, 39.58. And I just love the reactions of all of our athletes across the morning when they've done personal best. Big celebrations from all of the girls there.
This is heat 2 underway for the women's 50-meter butterfly in multi-class. Pretty evenly spread across the water right now. Like Carly was just saying, it would be quite difficult trying to, having to do the butterfly as your second event. Meg touches on first. She does it in a 32.02, followed by Sarah, 33.46, and Ava, 33.79.
Some fast reactions there out of event 19, which has hit the water. It's the men's 50-metre butterfly for multi-class. Taking us through this first 25. Looks to be lane 5, Dane Hornsby. We saw him in the breaststroke as well. Put together a fantastic swim. Alongside him, Bradley Doolan. We've got quite a few of our older athletes here. The more experience in the pool, the better. Alongside our youngsters, a couple of 11 and 12-year-olds. Gosh, that was close onto the finish. Dane holds on to touch the wall first. We will await those point scores. So we just have a look over at lane 7. Blake Warren, 12 years of age from Traralgon. Entry time 106.51, and he's just done a 3-second drop there. So great job. Got one swimmer left. Down in lane 1, plenty of supporters along the side of the pool here for Byron. He comes in with an entry time of 1:40, so we'll see if he can get close to that one today. Such a great effort. So great to have so many athletes across this pool. Byron comes down to touch just over his PB, 146.39.
Underway now. We've got heat 2, the men's 50-metre butterfly in multi-class. Yeah, they're travelling now. Logan touches the wall first in 29.26. Actually just beat his PB there.
Moving into our next event of the morning session. This is event 20, the girls 12-13 years, 100 metre backstroke. We've got 5 timed finals in this one. Just the 3 athletes contesting the first heat. A couple of 119s and one 120, so hopefully we can get all of them under that 120, maybe even sneak some 118s, potentially 117s. We'll see how the girls go here, but they're very close through the first 50.
Yeah, they are neck and neck at the moment, stroke for stroke. But it will be Layla touching the wall first from Kangaroo Flat. 37.77.
Layla, she was nice and quick on the turn. The other 2 girls now, though, starting to move up alongside her once again. Hopefully she can get a little bit of an advantage on this underwater. A nice turn there by Imogen Wilkins as well. But these girls, they were fast on entry time. They're going to be close together as they come down and touch.
Yeah, Layla does it from Kangaroo Flat. She does it in a minute 18.20, followed by Imogen. 118.58. Heat 2 of 5 underway. The girls 12 and 13-year-old 100-metre backstroke.
So the early leader out in lane 7, Josie Richer, South Gippsland Bass. She went through just ahead of Eden Burrows, and then towards this side of the pool was lane 2, Emma Libbets of Geelong Sharks. As we tend to see in these races, though, a few of those girls in the centre just build through in speed.
Yeah, Matilda touched the first 36.59. About a second later, got Isabel.
Really liking how smooth Matilda's stroke looks there. You can just see how still her head is. That's almost like a coach's dream in backstroke. We want to see that really still head position surrounded by good rotation through the shoulders. She's doing that nicely. The girls, though, just catching her a little bit more on the kick down this final lap, but I think she's done enough.
Yeah, Matilda maintains her lead, and she does it in a minute 15.98, followed by Isabel. She does it minute 16.76, and third will be Eden. Heat 3 of 5 underway for the girls, 12 and 13, 100-metre backstroke.
So we should start to see a few more of these girls, potentially around that 1:15 mark. We have tended to see around 2-second drops from a lot of our swimmers. It will be once again some outside lanes with that first 25 speed. Lane 7 there, Ruby Demetrios from Traralgon. She flicked onto the wall first, just ahead of Ray Anwell from Bendigo East. And then down in lane 3, Claire McQuillan, also from Traralgon, up in that mix.
Claire touching first, 35.36. Looking very even now.
Yeah, not a lot of change between those leaders in 3, 7 and 8. And that gap closing, lane 6 now starting to join the pack, Ava Lucas. So we just get that angle on the finish. It will be our swimmer in lane 3, Claire.
She's extended her lead. She does it in a 1:13.68. Followed by Isabella, 1:15.35. And third, Ray. Does it in 1:15.5. Heat 4 or 5 underway now.
Definitely some nice high stroke rates through this first 25. The 100 backstroke, still one of our sprint events, so we really want to see these girls push through that first 50. And doing just that are the girls in the center of the pool, lanes 3, 4 and 5, Talia McCubbin, Millie Leia and Junquin Cow.
Millie out of lane 4, touching there first, 34.58. Followed by lane 5, Junquin.
And it is 4 and 5 through the third 25 who start that breakaway here. Good swim going on out in lane 7 from Matilda Canetti. She might have moved herself up into that third place spot out of heat 4. Strong finish though from Junquin in lane 5.
She's going to get the time of a 1:11.31. Followed by Millie. She does it in at 1:13.30. And then second to Lucy. Does it in 1:14.46. Last heat now of the girls 12 and 13 100-metre backstroke.
So So the 12, 13-year-old girls, they have had their 100 freestyle already this morning. A few of them actually backing up from that 400 free we saw as well. This is the point of the morning where you've hopefully been doing your recovery because it starts to get painful. It was a quick start out of lane 5, Raina Snyders. She'll go through 32.56 ahead of lane 2, Sophie Lee from Kangaroo Flat. And those two pretty confident leaders early on.
Raina for Geelong, extending her lead now. She's about a body length in front of Miley.
Yeah, Miley's really working her way through the second 50. She's made up a lot of ground, but it's going to be too late here in the 100. It will go to Raina, 107.15, Miley, 109.16, and then lane 3 gets that third place spot there, Addison Prout of Traralgon.
Event 21 underway now. This is the boys 12 and 13-year-old 100-metre backstroke.
So the girls were pretty quick there, and we'll look to see what the boys can do. We have 4-time finals in this one. One of our last few events before the relays this morning. Looking good in lane 4, Henry Svoboda from Traralgon. One of our 12-year-olds. In fact, we've nearly got a full heat of 12-year-olds here in the 12-13s. So good underwater there by Ruben Grief.
He seems to have caught up with that one.
Yeah, he certainly did. He went in well behind and then came out alongside, but once again, Henry just kicking away down the final lap.
And he does it in a 117.01, followed by Ruben, 119.24, and then Neil, 120.98. Big 204 underway now. Looking good between lanes 5 and 6. We've got Samuel and Zayden battling it out as they touch the wall. Seems to be Zayden that got off the wall a little bit better, ahead of Samuel in lane 5.
Yeah, certainly. It will be those two who come through the 50-metre turn. 34.46 for Zayden and 35.71 for Samuel. Sitting in third from lane 3 is Riley Bartlett, and he's gone around in a 37, so a little bit behind, and that gap from our front two just continuing to push ahead. Pretty close line now between the last few swimmers in this heat, but 1 and 2 looking like they're going to drop a pretty big amount of time from their entry.
Zayden does it though. He does it 109.75. Followed by Samuel, 113.18. And then third to Edward, does it in 1:18 flat.
Underwater here with our third heat of 4. Really nice on that first 15 as well there by Zachary Gravesdale. He'll take us out in the first 25 ahead of lane 6, Daniel Hyatt from Warrnambool, with lane 4, Haikang Carr of Warragul sitting in third as we come up to the 50-metre turn.
Zachary at the 50 metres touches the wall at 33.59, followed by Haikang, 34.04.
Yeah, probably the biggest mover through that second 25 here was Spencer Stanley, and he's just moving through the field one person at a time on each of these laps. If he can keep this momentum, he isn't going to be far behind Zachary Gray.
As we come to the end point here, be Zachary touching first, and he does it 108.81, followed by Spencer 109.90, and then Daniel in lane 6 in 110.41.
So racing now with our fourth and final heat. Billy Main comes into this 103.9, 4-second buffer between himself and Darby Blackwell. Great to see a couple of 12-year-olds sneaking into the final 8 of our 12-13-year-olds. Keep an eye on them in the future. Lanes 2 and 3, Lucas Wendt and Henriana come into the 50-metre turn.
But it is Billy taking the lead in 30.01, followed by Darby at lane 5, 31, only a second between them.
Yeah, Darby doing a great job here, looking to get a personal best under his belt. Turning in third will be Patrick Clark out of lane 6. They look to be your medalists. It's going to come down to what times they can produce here. Billy Main holding on to that lead spot.
It is Billy. He does it 103.66, followed by Darby, 106.29, and Patrick in third spot, 106.68. to event 22 now. This is the women's 200-metre backstroke.
And this one will be our last individual event of the morning session. We have 5 heats to come. First heat, just the 3 swimmers, entry times 2:41s and 1:2:42. The girls here, 15 years of age for Hannah and Isabella, and then Yushin in lane 5, just 14 years of age from Geelong. We do know that our open events, we will be splitting medals, 14 and under, I should say, 15 and over. And then after these ones, we're getting ready for a little bit of excitement, because taking to the pool next will be our mixed 13 and under relays. 200-metre backstroke. We saw some hundreds previously. Those were the sprint events in the backstroke. This one is our middle distance race, or our longest distance that we do compete in the backstroke. The girls hit 50 metres left to swim, lane 5. Yushin, the youngest in the field, she's leading the way by about 2 body lengths now on Hannah Lucas, with Isabella sitting in that 3rd place spot.
Touching there, 2:36.90. Heat 2 underway from the women's 200-metre backstroke. Keziah and Astrid at the moment battling it out. Lanes 2 and 3. Does seem to be Astrid in the lead though. She touches in 34.65. Followed by Alexandra. She touches at 34.95.
So pretty split throughout this field. I'll hope to see a few of those girls work their way through this middle 100. There is a bit of a template for a breakdown of a 200, and a lot of people will talk about easy speed through the first 50 and then building, really working the middle, the next 250s. Astra Buchanan doing a nice job of that. She is still followed onto the wall by Alexandra Wilson, one of our swimmers from Albury, visiting from just across the border. Lane 2, Keziah Wolf sitting in 3rd. She's had some good swims this morning. particularly from those outside lanes.
Astrid really extending her lead now. .50 metres to go.
Yeah, this is definitely the point of the race where everything's going to be hurting. You want to have that little bit left, try and bring in the legs if you can. But backstroke with all those underwaters as well, it's a bit of a lung buster. The fatigue, you really do feel it in those legs. So this is a pretty good swim
But it
from
is,
Astrid.
it is all Astrid, 227.43. Followed by Alexandra, 231.68. And third goes to Gazaya, 232.84.
Away we go now with our third heat in the women's 200-metre backstroke. That 227 we just saw from Astrid Buchanan, that's going to move her up in these rankings as we move through. We have 2 heats remaining after this one. Taking us through in the first 25 will be Zoe Benson of Warrnambool, not too far behind her teammate, Ruby Kenwright. We've seen some really strong back-end swims from Ruby. So we'll see what those 2 girls can do. As we go through now into that 125-metre turn, not a lot of changes out the front with the 2 girls from Warrnambool, Zoe and Ruby. Still your leaders now ahead of Layla Van Aswegen out of lane 2. We've just seen Ruby really try to pick up the pace here. Catch up to Zoe. It's going to be a great race down this final 25 for the girls.
Final 25, we've got both the girls from Warrnambool battling it out here. Will be Zoe touching first, 226.57. And her teammate Ruby, 227.02. Followed by Layla. Lane 3, 232. Heat 4 of 5 underway. Second last one before we get into the relays.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we're going to see these times start to drop. We actually have a pretty stacked field of fast backstrokers coming up out of our final heat. Nicole Briscoe comes in with a 2:16. Got a couple of the girls, Maya Roberts and Claire Matheson, sitting around that 2:19, as well as Emily Kearns. So 4 athletes under the 2:20, and we're just trying to get some PBs out of these earlier heats and see if any of these girls can sneak into that top 8, score some points for their clubs, because we know how important those point scores are to our country teams. As the girls come up to the halfway point in this 200, pretty close, lanes 2 and 3. Li Wen Yu, Celeste Alice.
Li Wen Yu in the lead, 110.89. Second behind, we've got Celeste, 111.12.
And over in lane 6, sitting in third place spot, is another one of our Geelong swimmers, Zoe Jennings. So the 3 girls from Geelong, the early leaders. We'll see what the girls behind can do if they can catch up.
Will you find any of these swimmers in this event in these relays coming up? They'll be straight out of this and straight into the pool again.
Yeah, we definitely could have a couple. There are 2 13-year-olds, and the next event coming up is the 13 and under relay. And also after that, though, is the 14 over. Luckily, those girls will get a little bit of a break, but I do know a few of the athletes in the pool have already had about 3 swims this morning.
That's amazing.
So
well, they get their lunch break soon as well.
They'll certainly be looking forward to that one.
Okay. Lewin gets that, 224.60. Followed by Celeste, 225.25. And Zoe out of lane 6, 227.02. Fourth and final heat, the 5th and final heat underway.
We have had so many events that we've had 4-time finals, and we are coming to the end of our first session. It's been a pretty long one, but a good one. This race is going to be another close one, I think. Really nice underwaters out of lane 3 there from Maya Roberts. You don't often see girls in these 200s staying under for that long, so certainly a skill that you know she must have been working on, and it's really working to her advantage. Sitting in lane 5, Claire Matheson. She's going to be our early leader here through that first 50 though.
Yeah, just at that turn there, the lead has been shortened by Nicole out of lane 4. She seems to be catching up. As they head into this final 50.
Yeah, Nicole making up a lot of ground. Once again, those underwaters, ever so important. And you can just see she looks like she might have a little bit more left to give here. It will be a race down this final 25 as she's popped up right alongside Claire, and they're going to fight the whole way home. So they're going to turn equal at the 150. Just 0.2 separates the girls. It's been a great build here by Nicole. She's just using that momentum to her advantage. She built through the last 50. She gained the lead. She's increased on that lead now with just a final 10 meters left to swim. It's been a really great display.
This is all Nicole. She does it 2:14.33, followed by Claire, 2:16.92. And third is Mia, 2:18.74.
So we are underway now with event 23. It's time for the most fun of the morning session. This is our relays, mixed 13 and unders, which means we have 2 male athletes and 2 female athletes from each of our clubs and 50 meters of each stroke. So we have a backstroker, then a breaststroker, a butterflyer, and then we finish with our freestyler. It's about to get noisy in here, that's for sure. Just the 3 teams out of heat 1. We've got 2 teams with the gold caps leading us through. Ballarat Gold in lane 3 with Bendigo Hawks. Out of lane 5, they've got a little bit of a distance over Gisborne. Swimming from lane 4. We're going to hit the water with 3 of our female athletes to finish this one. So stroke for stroke through the butterfly. It's still Ballarat Gold versus Bendigo Hawks. Freestylers now hitting the pool. Big cheers on the sidelines from the whole club of Ballarat Gold there, supporting their final swimmer.
Ballarat Gold touching first in 2:27.9. A 2:04 mixed 13 and under 200 metre medley.
We've definitely got some fast teams coming up. Just been having a little bit of a look at some of the swimmers entered, and Quite a lot of them will have already collected some medals in individual races this morning. Now it's time to try and turn up the heat for your team. Doing just that are the swimmers in lanes 3 and 2. Wodonga City and Kangaroo Flat. They're going to go into their breaststroker out in the lead.
Wodonga City, Kangaroo Flat going neck and neck. Oh, Kangaroo Flat seems to be pushing forward faster.
This is definitely where that strategy comes into play. What order of swimmers you have. I think it's going to be close on the finish as well, as Kangaroo Flat, they're finishing with one of their female athletes, but Wodonga, they've opted for one of their males.
Yes, Kangaroo Flat in the water first for this last leg.
For their butterfly leg. There's been a really nice butterfly leg from the team over in lane 7 of Bendigo East. They've made up a lot of ground here as we come into our final freestylers. It's the two teams from Bendigo Kangaroo Flat versus Bendigo East. And the teams in the middle, a little bit of work to do to try to catch up. Wodonga City and Moe.
It is all Kangaroo Flat though. They touched the wall 229.99. Very close between second and third, 228.72, 229.99. We have heat 3 underway with the mixed 13 and under 200 metre medley relay. This is a very fun race. The crowd loves this.
Always the relays at any event. This is the one we want to get around. It's one thing to get a medal for yourself, but it's a whole other thing to try and put together a performance to secure your team a medal. And our clubs, our supporters, this is what Country Championships really represents. They're doing an incredible job. We have a great race once again on our hands as our breaststrokers come through. It will be the team down in lane 2 from Traralgon, ahead of Ballarat, with Bendigo East turning in third. We have noticed in the last 2 heats, this butterfly leg coming up has kind of been the make or break. We've seen a lot of ground made up within this third 50, so we'll see if any of these teams can close the gap. But at the moment, really tight between our 2 lead teams, just 0.2 separating them.
Yeah, Ballarat and Traralgon. Almost going stroke for stroke, these two.
They really were, and they hit the wall almost identically. Maybe a little bit better on the underwater from Traralgon. And they're just going to be pulling away, giving a nice bit of distance for their freestyler to hit the pool.
It is Traralgon. They've extended their lead by about 2 seconds here over Ballarat.
And just starting to see Bendigo East make a little bit of a move now into that second place spot with their freestyler. Not sure they're going to have enough room left in this 25-metre pool to catch up, though. Traralgon are going to come down under the flags and take out heat 3.
Yes, and it is Traralgon. They hit the wall on 2:11.22, followed by Bendigo East, 2:14.16, and Warrnambool third, 2:15.88. We're underway now for the mixed 14 and over 200-metre medley relay.
This is their final heat, the fourth and final heat of the 13 and unders 4x50-metre medley relay. It is getting very loud in the venue now with so many supporters surrounding the pool. You can see them on the far side. And it is that far side that's going to be our leaders after the 50-metre backstroke swimmer with lane 6 taking us through sub 30 there. That's a quick swim by Billy Main from Wodonga City.
Wodonga City in the lead, 104.37, followed by Seymour. They've got 107.35, 3 seconds in front.
So Wodonga, they've gone with their 2 male athletes first. Now, a lot of the time, this is to try and avoid the wake by the other swimmers. They want to get that early lead, and then the other teams have to try and chase them throughout the second half. Hopefully they've done enough though. Warragul really pushing through their butterflyer. And that lead now is down to nothing as our final swimmers hit the pool. It is a race between Warragul and Wodonga City.
It is neck and neck. Seems to be Warragul up ahead right now. They touch the wall first, 2:07.33. It's 2 seconds in front of Wodonga. And then Traralgon third with 2:10.18.
So an exciting 13 and under relay. Now we have our mixed 14 and overs. Once again, we have 4 timed finals in this one. The 4x50-metre medley relay mixed. 3 teams out of the first heat. 2 teams from the Bendigo Hawks, 1 team in lane 5 from Wangaratta. So as we come through in our butterfly, it's the team in lane 3. They've just lost that lead right on the final stroke. As our freestylers hit the water, Wangaratta's done an incredible job to catch up, but the Hawks just pulling away again. So down to touch, and it will be the Hawks team out of lane 3, 210.99 ahead of Wangaratta. And big high fives, or high tens, I should say, all round.
Heat 2 underway, mixed 14 and over medley relay. Put Geelong in lane 4. Long Schlarks in lane 4, a body length in front of the Surf Coast. To get into the third leg of this heat.
Yeah, the Sharks did really well in the first half of this race, and their job now is to try to hold on, but this is a really nice butterfly from out in lane 7. The team from Maui, they're going to be your new leaders as we hit our freestyler. So Maui 1, Geelong Sharks 2, and then lane 6, Surf Coast in 3rd. Surf Coast just motoring through this freestyle. It's going to be close onto the wall.
It will be Geelong Sharks though, 205.63 with Surf Coast Swim 205.75, and third Maui 212.60. Second last heat before we wrap up for lunch.
Once again, lane 4, Wodonga City. They'll go through the first 25 in front of lane 8, Ballarat Gold. And it's those two boys who are going to come down for that first changeover.
Was Ballarat Gold, lane 8, touching the wall first there, ahead of Wodonga City, followed by, in third, Warragul.
Some pretty young teams here for our 14 and overs. Those two boys that took us and led us through the first 50, just 14 and 15 years of age. And we're just seeing everyone move through this breaststroke. So that field now really tight, but lane 1 got the best of the breaststrokes, and they're going to go through in first now.
Warragul in the lead. Out of lane 1. Warrnambool seems to have taken him on that last turn, actually.
As we said in those previous 2 races, the butterfly leg is just where so many changes are happening, and Warrnambool has overtaken the lead here. This is their B team. They've got their A team coming up in that final 8.
There we go. We've had another lead change again. It does seem to be Warragul. Look at that, Warragul, Ballarat, Warrnambool.
Another exciting relay. So we reach our final event of the morning.
Last race of the session underway now for the 2026 UNCLOUD Victorian Country Short Course Championships.
It has been an exciting morning, and we look to see if we can have one more exhilarating race to finish off the session. We've still got plenty of teams standing around cheering and supporting as we go into that first changeover post backstroke.
And it is Ballarat Gold in the lead. Following is
South Gippsland Bass in a second. And then Traralgon was actually their B team that touched in front of their A team after their backstroker.
South Gippsland Bass in the lead.
So Ballarat Gold maintains that lead that they had early. No one's been able to catch them. Coming up alongside them though, look at this underwater there by Traralgon. Someone get the measuring tape out. That was right on 15. Brilliant display of underwaters. They've taken over the lead now, and their freestyler is just powering home.
Traralgon looking really good here. Half a body length in front of Ballarat Gold. And in third place, South Gippsland Bass. It's only about 4 seconds between them.
What a way to wrap up our morning session. Enjoy your break, and we look forward to welcoming you back on live stream this afternoon for session 2 at 2 o'clock.